TIFU by teaching survival skills to a church group. I feel really guilty ATM. I guess I didn't see this foo coming. But boy, has it bit me in the ass. I'm 30. Former Army medic. Reserves now. Also certified as an EMT and currently work in emergency medicine. I volunteer at church, mainly helping with the youth groups and doing outdoorsy shish stuff, because I like it so much. At the beginning of the pandemic, I hurt my back doing a lift by myself and had to take some time off from medicine. At about the time I was needed the most, I felt bad. And also knew that the teenagers I volunteer with were bored, confined, and not happy being stuck at home. So I organized a weekly, outdoor, safe class for them. Started out as properly distanced hikes. Then as regulations eased, I started teaching survival skills and medical basics. Been doing that ever since. When the weather's very bad, we stay inside and teach other life skills. My sister helps. Now one of my best students is gone. I don't mean dead. I mean literally gone. No one has seen her since 9 a.m. this morning. And she took her camping and survival stuff. She's not with friends. Apparently she's been harming herself. Parents found out, and she ran rather than face the music. Here's where I food. I taught her all of these survival skills. Some self-defense. And even tips on how to hide from bears, people with bad intentions, etc. Most of the kids in my class can build a shelter, start fires with flint or a magnifying glass, stay somewhat warm, find their way, and identify and get food and water in nature. I even took groups hunting and winter camping. I inadvertently made it a lot easier to run away, and might have even taught more than that, by showing how to make a more or less sterile field and treat injuries. I'm an ass. I really messed this up. TLDR. Teach a class at church. Accidentally taught a teenager how to run away better. Avoid being found. I'm far more worried that her parents reacted to her self-harming by getting so angry that she didn't feel safe staying at home. I mean, my parents reacted badly. My mom told me I was already ugly and I shouldn't make it worse. They ignored my debilitating depression. They still do, 20 years later. But I'm an adult. I can protect myself. But they never made me feel so fearful that I left my home to wild camp in the middle of winter. Even if you aren't a mandated reporter, I think this needs reporting to your local child protection agency. She could be out there without skills, or out there with skills. Which would you prefer? You did nothing wrong. You gave someone skills that may help them survive whatever they're going through in a situation they put themselves in. You didn't foo. You did a great service to the youth of your church. If a person chooses to cheat on their taxes, is it because a teacher taught them math? Or another teacher taught them to read? No. One of those kids could save a life someday. And that could be because of what you taught them. Look at it another way. You gave her a better option than unaliving herself. Cooperate with authorities. Maybe go out there and see if you can find her. And see what she wants to do. Literally, this is the opposite of your fault. If she's freaking out enough that she'd run away from home, she's freaking out enough that she probably didn't consider whether it'd be safe or not before leaving. She's safer than she otherwise would be because of you. As an Eagle Scout, you did good. Knowing how to survive in an emergency is critical. And you taught them all the tools they need. You did good. The thing about tools, however, is that you can't control how others use them. This goes for every tool. Be it a car, skis, a hammer, or a gun. You can teach how to use them safely and properly. But you cannot control another person's actions. However, if their family life is this bad, There's other problems that need addressed that you are most likely not qualified to handle. If she was going to run away, she was going to do it regardless of what you taught. You gave her tools to take better care of herself during that. However, which is a good thing. I'd rather have a runaway who knows how to not die than one who grabs their switch and perfume and treks off into the wilderness. You could look at this as a foo. Sure. But what I see is her home life was not that great, so she used the knowledge she picked up from you, and honestly probably a lot more than you, to escape for a while. At least you taught her well. When I did the same thing around 13, it was all self-taught and trial and error. And a lot of error. My grandfather taught me grow food in the garden, but I'm not running off to be a farmer now. There are a lot of things we can't control. This is not on you, it's her family. Maybe one day your training will help someone else survive a life or death situation. We can only hope the time this girl spends in the woods shows her some perspective and works out for the better. Maybe your next lesson is now, and a crash course in tracking and search and rescue is in order. You did not foo. Not and foo, you did the right thing. Know that. Not a foo. You changed these kids' lives and maybe saved them in a case of an emergency. Pray for her and maybe add a search and rescue course for future classes. This is Sonata TIFU. A science teacher shows students how to make chemical compounds. Does that mean the teacher should feel guilty when the student poisons someone? No, and neither should you. You taught with the best of intent and not show this kid on how to go on the run. Mate, it's not your fault she ran away. She would have done that anyway. But you may just be the reason she survives. Don't feel bad. Feel proud. You aren't the cause, and because of you she knows what's dangerous and how to survive. Even in winter, people can survive some time outdoors with proper gear and knowledge. Today you kicked ass. Except for saying she ran away to not face the music, that's pure assholery. You taught a child who is experiencing terrible pain and likely neglect how to survive. She'll have a chance at a normal life in her adulthood because of you. How do you think this would go without those skills? Man, I understand your feeling of guilt. But you gave this girl, and by the sounds of it many other lucky kids, essential skills for life I wish I was taught. That poor girl is going through some stuff and she may have ran away anyway, even without the skills you taught her. So you may have inadvertently saved her life. If she gets into a bad situation, with the skills you taught her, this has literally nothing to do with you, so stop feeling bad. The only thing that knowledge can do is help keep her alive. Dude, you gave a viable option to leave an abusive situation. Most kids just leave without this information and end up dead. You gave her a survival chance. People have run off for years. Just look at the story, Into the Wild. The difference is you gave this child a chance to survive. https://en.m.wikipedia.org/wiki/chrismcandless.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.